going on, everyone? Today I'll be checking out WLMouse's newest addition to their mouse lineup, the Huan. The Huan is a full-shell magnesium alloy mouse with a shape based off of the RAZER VIPER Mini, one of the most popular shapes on the market, and one that a lot of consumers want to see more of. RAZER does have the VIPER Mini Signature Edition, but it doesn't have a flagship version at a consumer price point, so this may fill in the void, although it is slightly expensive. It comes in with a Nordic 54H20 MCU, a 3950 sensor, TTC encoder, and my favorite, Omron optical switches. The weight is listed at 48 plus or minus 2 grams, and unfortunately mine comes in at 50 grams, so I got the higher side of that. I'm not sure if other people's units are closer to the 48 grams, but mine is at that 50 mark, so I'm assuming others are about the same. Now let's get right into it and go over the pros and cons of the mouse, and then of course I will give it a rating out of 5 as I do with all my mice. So starting out with the pros of the mouse, the shape, the build quality, and the coating are impressively good. The shape of the mouse is to no surprise amazing. As I said before, the VIPER Mini silhouette is one of the most popular in the scene, and this is very similar. The scroll wheel is placed slightly differently, but regardless, I love this shape a lot. I think it really is the perfect full-size fingertip shape that you can get, as the sidewalls are mostly flat and high enough to get a good grip on, but the hump and length of the mouse won't get in the way of your fingers. Unlike the WLMouse Beastex Mini or the Final Mouse Small shape, the mouse is slightly thicker in the middle and wider, which I like a lot as it gives me more to grip on and feels a lot more comfortable. You can see here, don't mind the dirty grips on my Beastex Mini, that the hump in the middle is a lot more pronounced, so you can really get a grip on it if you are going to play something like Fortnite, where you do need to press the side buttons a lot. The build quality is to no surprise very good on this mouse. Being a full shell magnesium mouse, unlike the Beastex counterpart, makes it practically indestructible, and I can grip the shit out of it without worrying at all that the mouse is going to break or creak or cause any issues in the future. Although it's not a huge problem on the Beastex mice, you can still definitely feel the flex just because it does have all those holes in it, and it's not a full shell magnesium mouse like the Huan is. Another great thing about this being a full shell mouse as compared to the Beastex line is that there are no holes on the sides, so I don't feel a need to cover that up with grip tape, and it doesn't get in the way of gameplay. Lastly, the coating completely overshot my expectations. The coating on WLMouse's other magnesium mice is pretty lackluster, for example on the Meow, so I expected this one to be super slick, but it is not at all, and I still don't feel the need to put grips on this mouse for it to feel secure. I'm not sure what they did on this mouse, but it has a nice textured feel that sticks to your fingers even when you sweat. Not only that, but since the mouse is actually metal, it cools down your hands while you play, which is pretty cool, so you do sweat less while you're using it. WLMouse even has a new version of the Huan coming out that looks like it has an even better coating than this one does, which would be very impressive for a magnesium mouse. I don't know if I'm going to get my hands on it because I already have this one, but if I do, then I really look forward to seeing how that one feels. Now I'll move on to the cons. I really do love this mouse, but unfortunately there were a few that I do want to point out. For example, the clicks could be a little bit heavier and the weight could for sure be a lot less. Like I said earlier in the video, Omron optical switches are by far my favorite mouse switches on the market, and they are becoming more and more popular, but this implementation of them is not the best. They're just slightly too light for my liking, and I found myself accidentally clicking them when I didn't want to, which almost never happens to me. I mean, these clicks are really, really light. That being said, it didn't completely ruin the experience for me, as many bad click implementations do. They are still snappy and have very little pre and post travel, but are just on the light side, and I prefer them to be a little bit more on the heavy side, similar to like the OP1 8K clicks. The weight is also a con, but it is definitely to be expected given the material and the build of the mouse. Full shell magnesium mouse coming in at 50 grams is still extremely impressive, but the more I use mice from companies like G-Wolves, the more I want something lighter, especially in this small of a package. For example, the Ponus Trinity CF is a VIPER Mini clone and comes in at just 37 grams, a whole 13 grams lighter than my model of the Huan, so I'd like to see the Huan get an update with some weight shaved off for sure. So that wraps it up for the pros and cons. So now for the rating of the mouse, I really wanted to give this a 4.5 out of 5, but looking at the cons, I just don't think that I can justify it. So for me, it gets a 4 out of 5, but take that with a grain of salt. It is still by far one of the best full-size fingertip options out there. I do think something from G-Wolves would be a good bit better because their clicks are insane and the weight is of course the lowest on the market. But still, I really do love this mouse, and I'm going to be using it for a while. Anyways, that's going to do it for the review of the WLMouse Huan. This mouse will probably stay on my desk for a long time. It just feels so good in hand, and until a lighter version of the VIPER Mini with the same quality comes out, this may be my go-to. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe for future reviews. I'm trying to do 2 to 3 reviews every month, and I really want to stick to that for the whole of this year. But anyways, thanks again, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
Hey,